This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
For us, this week is our Super Bowl.
Up to 7 inches or more will be possible.
Stuff just starts flying past my head. A garbage bin flew past me.
The Haley-Gubby volcano sent thick plumes of smoke up to 9 miles into the sky.
That's the most expensive gas in the state of Pennsylvania.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. It is about time to get out of Dodge. 81 million of us are traveling today, the busiest travel day of the year, some by plane. And so far, that looks good.
We got here early expecting crowds, and it's not that crowded.
We're pleasantly surprised that everything seems to be okay so far.
The TSA will screen 18 million people between now and Tuesday. FAA Administrator Brian Bedford.
For us, this week is our Super Bowl. And I'm here to tell you we've got a great plan. We're past the laps. Controllers are back at work. They're excited to be back on the job. They're excited to be compensated to be back on the job.
For those of us on the roads in New York and Pennsylvania, Old Man Winter is not playing nice. Winter weather advisories and lake effect snow warnings are out for 25 counties in New York and PA along Lakes Erie and Ontario.
First, it'll start out as a little bit of rain, and then it will eventually transition over to snow, and then that's where we'll get our accumulations.
Aaron Reynolds is with the National Weather Service in Buffalo. He says the better part of the storm should hit on Thanksgiving Day.
Looks like the greatest impact's going to be south and southeast of Buffalo, just east of the lake, across Chautauqua and Cattaraugus County, where up to 7 inches or more will be possible.
Kevin's got more in just a few minutes. Now to Europe. Ukraine says it has agreed to a peace deal brokered by the Trump administration to end the war with Russia. The BBC's Jonathan Beale.
Rustem Umerov, the head of Ukraine's Security Council, said the US and Ukraine had reached a common understanding on the core terms of an agreement. He said Ukraine looked forward to organizing a visit by President Zelensky to Washington this month.
Even Fox News was skeptical today of the deal Ukraine is willing to sign.
It called for Russia to have parts of the Donbass that it doesn't even occupy now, limiting the size of Ukraine's military and giving up forever aspirations to join NATO. I didn't think that was something that Ukraine would ever accept.
Senate Republican Tom Cotton says it may mean Ukraine has less land so they can manage it safely.
What's most critical for future stability is that Ukraine have defensible territorial lines as a military that can deter Russia in the future, and that we never reward Russian aggression by recognizing the territory they've unlawfully seized in Ukraine.
Ukraine seems to be on board. The Europeans also supportive, but Russia a bit hesitant. There are talks happening in Abu Dhabi with Russia. Israel says it's received human remains that Hamas handed over to the Red Cross. It's not immediately clear if it's one of the 3 hostages remaining in Gaza. Attorney General Pam Bondi says she will appeal the dismissal of the federal criminal cases against New York Attorney General Letitia James and former FBI Director James Comey. Both claimed the appointment of Lindsay Halligan as the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District was unlawful. Comey was indicted for allegedly lying to Congress about the Trump-Russia investigation, while James was indicted for mortgage fraud. The city of Houston is in cleanup mode after a tornado there damaged more than 100 homes. This Houstonian saw the funnel cloud touch down.
I see it start spinning, and then I see the spiral coming down, and then stuff just starts flying past my head. A garbage bin flew past me.
No injuries reported. A volcano in northeastern Ethiopia has erupted for the first time in 1,200 years. CBS's Michael Wallace.
The Haley-Gubby volcano sent thick plumes of smoke up to 9 miles into the sky. The ash cloud drifted as far east as Pakistan and India. One resident likened it to a bomb going off. Ethiopian officials say no one was injured, but some villages have been covered in ash, threatening the food supply for local livestock. The huge ash cloud has forced some flight cancellations and delays. India warns the cloud is so thick it may even interrupt satellite signals.
And at the White House today, there was an annual tradition.
Come on up, Waddle. Welcome.
Waddle is the first of 2 turkeys selected from a farm in North Carolina receiving a presidential pardon. Gobble is his partner in crime. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Want to give us a gobble?
Right on cue there. Gobble and Wobble will spend the rest of their days at North Carolina State University. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, weather alerts popping up and down Lakes Erie and Ontario, a quick gas price check, and what takes 700 eggs and 450 pounds of flour. We'll tell you after weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Tonight and tomorrow, cloudy with showers. There could be a thunder shower tomorrow afternoon in central New York or eastern Pennsylvania. Lows tonight 40s, highs tomorrow 50s and low 60s, but with tumbling temperatures late in western New York. Then windy and much colder tomorrow night and Thanksgiving Day. Heavy lake stone, blowing snow east of Lake Erie, Lake Ontario in the belts. Otherwise, variable clouds, scattered flurries, and snow showers. High temperatures Thursday mostly in the 30s.
Thank you, Kevin. Checking the stories, making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. A little more on that storm moving in. The heavier snow should be contained to areas near the lakes, but the wind could be a problem for just about all of us. WIVB meteorologist Todd Santos is in Buffalo.
They really start to pick up tomorrow evening, and then that continues overnight Wednesday night into Thursday. For even events like the Turkey Trot, gusts to 50 miles per hour is not out of the question, even during the race.
He suggests leaving today or early Wednesday to visit family. Pennsylvania made the national news today for gas prices. This Fox News reporter standing in front of a gas station sign in Philadelphia.
What about that one behind me? Yeah, that's the most expensive gas in the state of Pennsylvania. $4.09 the average gallon, right? You're about $1 more than the national average.
People living in Pennsylvania gave mixed reviews on whether or not they think gas prices are down from this time last year.
I think overall this year it's less.
Oh, higher, definitely higher from last season, man. The fluctuation and stuff is crazy.
It's less than when it was when Biden was in office, but not as low as I thought it would go. Electric's a lot worse right now than gas.
Everything's much more expensive than it has been in the past.
AAA says statewide, Pennsylvanians are paying $3.26 a gallon. It's $3.14 a gallon in New York. Influenza is starting to make the rounds in the Empire State. Health Commissioner Dr. James McDonald says a more serious strain of flu, known as H3, isn't showing up much yet, though.
We are seeing an increase in cases in New York State, and we are seeing an increase in people in the hospital, but it's still early in the flu season in New York, and we're not seeing a meaningful amount of H3 in New York State, just the usual influenza.
McDonald says one disturbing trend is the number of children dying from the flu continuing to rise each year in New York. From 3 fatalities 6 years ago, the figure climbed to 27 last year. Those in need of heating assistance in New York will need to wait a while longer. The state had originally hoped to open the Home Energy Assistance Program yesterday, but that's been delayed due to federal funding issues. New York hopes to open HEAP the first week of December. Pennsylvania politicians are debating whether to move the nation's most expensive full-time legislature to part-time. Democratic Representative Arvin Venkat of Pittsburgh is all for that.
We look around the country, the effectiveness of our legislature simply does not rate compared to those that have a part-time legislature with a fixed legislative session.
His bill would limit lawmakers in Harrisburg from January to March. Republican Seth Grove used to be a fierce defender of the full-time legislature, but not anymore.
We are in the same amount of session days as part-time legislatures, and they're getting more done in their 3-month sessions than we do in a full year.
It would take a constitutional amendment to move the General Assembly to part-time. And you may be making a gingerbread house this season, but it probably isn't anything like this one. Monroe County, Pennsylvania's Skytop Lodge is known for its annual life-size gingerbread house display in the lobby. Their team of pastry chefs tells WNEP it takes 700 eggs, 450 pounds of flour, 12 pounds of spice, and a lot of time.
We like things to look very realistic. This year we have a lot of greenery, gumballs that look like Christmas lights. Usually every year I do the roof. That is my specialty. I feel like a roofer at this point.
This guest visiting from South Carolina appreciates the effort.
They make their own gingerbread to build it, and there's real candy
tree along the edges. Such a wonderful family place.
The design work for the edible labor of love begins in April and the baking and assembly months beforehand. Skytop's giant gingerbread house will be on display through the end of December. Next at 5, highlights from today's hometown heroes. A long-standing Thanksgiving tradition continues on the streets of Buffalo this week. Alex and Eric Johns will be spending all week on the streets with the city's homeless population, carrying on a legacy from their father, Pastor Eric Johns with the Buffalo Dream Center. They say it's a tradition they're honored to continue. Let's listen in.
My earliest memories personally are probably him taking us out for like part of a day. Well, I mean, we always had the memory of him leaving for homeless week and getting ready, getting all of his stuff by the front door and the sleeping bags and stuff and heading out. And then from a pretty early age, he would take us out for just part of the day, let us go to a soup kitchen on Thanksgiving Day with him. Obviously, we weren't going out the whole week and spending the night then yet, but we were pretty young. We were pretty involved from a pretty young age.
Yeah, I agree. Like we just grew up ever since we could remember of helping the homeless people, helping people in Buffalo and through the ministry here at the church and everything. And so growing up doing it, it's kind of like your earliest memory is like your first memory. You know what I mean? It's like that's all you remember, but it's honestly a privilege. And then to just kind of keep carrying it on and keep doing it along with Dad and taking more responsibility, it's fun. 2 years ago was our first year without my dad. It was interesting, right? Because Pastor Eric, my dad, he would always organize everything in a sense. Like he'd always make sure like, oh, we're going to go here at this time and here at this time and do this and do that. And we have these people coming. And so we actually spent the night for several years before that. And so the first year, I don't know how you would explain it, but the first year for me was like, it was without Dad, so it was a little more like you had to be a little more aware of what you're doing. Right. But it was also kind of an honor in a sense, because everyone knows Pastor Eric, the man that lives on the streets with the homeless, where now it's like, oh, you're his sons. And we encountered that a lot that week. Where's your dad? And we're like, oh, we're taking it over. And they were, wow, that's so awesome. It's an honor.
That's Alex and Eric Johns with the Buffalo Dream Center. You can hear the full Hometown Heroes feature along with all of our Family Life original news features at Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and at familylife.org.
Are you missing out on one of the easiest ways to grow your money? Hi, I'm Rob West with the Faith and Finance Minute. Many workplace retirement plans like 401ks or 403bs offer employer matching contributions. For example, if you contribute $250 per pay period and your employer matches the same amount, you're really saving $500. That's doubling your money instantly up to the company's match limit. There isn't another financial product that promises those returns. The catch? You only get the match if you contribute. Passing it up is like leaving free money on the table. So if your workplace offers a match, take full advantage of it. You'll not only build your future wisely, but also steward the opportunities God has placed in your hands. Get biblical answers to your financial questions in the FaithFi community. Download FaithFi, Faith and Finance in your app store or visit faithfi.com.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, a love story straight out of the YMCA. That next, after one last look at weather.
I'm Kevin Williams, and here is your Family Life regional weather forecast. Some active and turbulent weather is ahead. Ahead of a cold front, it's going to be on the mild side tonight and tomorrow with showers. The front will pass tomorrow night. In its wake, the winds will whistle, temperatures tumble, and the lake flakes will fly. The snowbelt areas east of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario will feature some heavy wind-blown snow. Outside the snowbelts, more nuisancey snow flurries and snow showers expected. Our call for tonight and tomorrow, cloudy with showers. There could be a thunder shower tomorrow afternoon in central New York or eastern Pennsylvania. Lows tonight 40s, highs tomorrow 50s and low 60s, but with tumbling temperatures late in western New York. Then windy and much colder tomorrow night and Thanksgiving Day. Heavy lake stone blowing snow east of Lake Erie, Lake Ontario in the belts. Otherwise, variable clouds, scattered flurries and snow showers. High temperatures Thursday mostly in the 30s.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Finally, at 5, a love story that's just all wet. Edward, 82 years old, and Marlene, 78, both of whom had lost their longtime spouses in recent years, weren't looking for love, just exercise when they joined the water aerobics class at the local YMCA, telling KMOV.
We really didn't want to get married because we both lost someone.
But still, even the chilly pool water couldn't douse the obvious spark between them.
We splashed each other in the pool.
I took her on our first date December 5th, 23, and I asked her to marry me in like August of that year, and she waited till this year to give me an answer.
And so they took the plunge, literally, at the suggestion of their water aerobics instructor, who apparently is also an ordained minister. They got married right where they met, in the pool.
Ed, do you take Marlene to be your lawfully wedded wife? I now pronounce you husband and wife.
The groom wore swim trunks, a tuxedo-style shirt and top hat. The bride, a special one-piece bridal swimsuit complete with a veil. And the happy couple had their first dance in the shallow end with a lifeguard looking on. And that's the world that we live in for Tuesday, the 25th of November. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.